Hey everybody, welcome back. For you all, it hasn't been long, but for me, it's been a couple of months, maybe even 3 months, since I last watched the first episode of Dahmer. It hasn't disappeared on my Netflix list yet. The do you want to continue with, or however they phrase it. But let's see. How long has it actually been? Okay, it's been almost 3 months. Today is August 27th. The last time I watched it was June 4th. So it's been a while. Other projects came up and I've been working on those and haven't had the time to record. So we are back at it. I'm not sure now what these are following, but I guess it doesn't matter because I've already recorded the first one and talked about things. If you're seeing these, then you know what day I've set for them to fall on, which I believe is going to be Wednesdays now, after I finish the Dark series. I had to think of which one I moved. I switched things around so that Brooke and I could do the collaboration on the Hercules and Xena series, which is why I have the background that I have. And yeah, so all I remember, well, he did some creepy stuff. He tried to kill a guy that got away, told the cops. He wasn't the first guy, though. We know he's been at it because the cops found pictures and didn't he have the barrels in the room that I'm assuming have the acid and bodies in them? And they found heads and body parts in the freezer and fridge. So, yeah, they caught him, which I wasn't expecting in the first episode. And I think they've already started interviewing some of the family that are shook. But obviously, since we've got 9 more episodes, something's going to happen. They're not going to be able to pin it on him, or they're going to run into trouble with pinning it on him, or something. And I know I questioned some of the things that they did when they were searching his apartment because I was like, wait a minute, he's not really agreeing to this. So, and they were moving things before photographing where they found it and all that kind of stuff. So I remember questioning if the way that they gathered the evidence, it has tainted the case now. So rather than speculating any further, let's just go ahead and get into it. This is episode 2, and the name of the episode is, oh, Painkiller. I heard that's good, and it actually features Mount Airy and Galax, which are two of the towns less than an hour from me. So the second episode is called Please Don't Go. And the neighbor has been complaining about the smells and his behavior and all that kind of stuff, I guess sounds, for a while now. And so she's glad they finally got him, but I feel like she's going to be more of this, more of a part of it. Before I start, let me share my window. Here we go. I got some string cheese.
We have taken evidence out of the building to be examined.
Police are removing boxes and boxes.
I almost thought that was actual footage there for a second.
There are some big unanswered questions, though. Just who are the dismembered people killed in this mass murder?
I wasn't expecting a nude scene from
just as others here in Milwaukee
the strip
are
down.
wondering how police couldn't have known.
So all men, they're asking people to come forward.
I'm just gonna be honest and tell you everything. Only makes sense they do everything to put an end to it.
I was looking puzzled because I was like, isn't Dahmer an attorney? But I think that's Ted Bundy that was studying law. I don't know if he actually finished the program of law school, but I think it was Ted Bundy that was the lawyer. So we'll be basing this on his taped confessions then. And that's why we started with the capture. I don't know what they were throwing at the poor kid. So the town of Bath. I think we knew that though. I have heard of that town before. Sounds like somebody's bouncing the baby. Oh, mom's passed out. So did mom use drugs? Or she killed herself? I can't tell what that is on the bed beside her, if it's a needle or something else. Overdose, okay.
What happened? She finally do it? She kill herself? Hey, Jeff. It was good calling the
So not a
ambulance.
first time thing
Okay.
for mama.
Get out!
Oh, I will.
Just get out!
I am. It's gonna be
Get
the best
out!
3 days of my
Get out!
life. Jesus.
So one example with the parents staying together is not
Dad,
necessarily a good
please
thing.
don't go.
It's for work. I told you this.
Is it work or is he having affairs? We might not ever know. That's an interesting perspective. We're partially in the water. Little tadpoles. So you're going to put the
Daddy,
tadpoles on her desk. Yep.
they're
Showing
tadpoles. Are they
showing
for
that he's
sacrifice?
always been thinking differently.
They're for you.
There's
And we'll start with
two
the
that have died
sacrifice.
or dying.
Do you want them?
Is he going to notice that she gave the tadpoles away? Yep.
No!
So outbursts, strange outbursts. They're not immediately after the event. It's almost like he stops and thinks about it, but then at the same time can't hold it in either. You know, I just got done. I'm waiting to see if it gives a better view. Following him in, that's not good. That's probably right now the best picture I'm going to get. But so this is late 70s, right? Or mid 70s. And I just finished watching Dark, and that had the 1950s. They were using this style of backpack, similar, not exactly the same, but it's only 20 years difference, which doesn't seem like much time. But then when we talk about fashion and technology and all that kind of stuff, it is a lot of time. So it's interesting that he's got one too. 20, 25, 30 years, somewhere in there. So he's just stealing them back. He's going to release them. But they're all dead now, right? He's not going to go close enough to the water. Ah, we're going to do a little experimentation. Okay. So this is part of conduct disorder, is abusing animals. Has he been burying animals under the house?
There he is. Too big for a rat. That's
It's
an
a possum.
opossum. They got the same sort of body as a rat, but this guy's a marsupial. He's got a hole in his skull.
Somebody shot him.
Somebody must have bit through it, coyote or something. Look, you can see it's crushed.
Oh, so Dad innocently
They're like
gets his
fiddlesticks.
curiosity going.
He's in his own world half the time, Joyce, ever since the surgery.
That's not my fault.
Oh, why don't you take another pill, Joyce?
What surgery did he have?
Get out of the house!
You know what would calm you down, Joyce? A fucking lobotomy.
I think they still do them. Rarely.
There's one.
Where?
I think this is the Monkees.
Oh, you're
It
right.
might be the Beatles. I think it's the Beatles.
I don't want to cut it yet. Why don't you just pull it out and set it aside?
So, like I said, the father seems to innocently get Jeff involved in all this death stuff, although he's probably already tended towards it, but he's developing it more. And it's innocent because they're not going out and killing animals. He's just showing him on the cadavers that they come across, the roadkill that they come across. And it reminds me of when I was in high school. I was trying to think if I was also in college during the time, but I think it was mainly while I was high school age. Dad would stop and pick up roadkill that was not beat up too bad, more of the ones that were shock killed, like they hit the side of the car, like rabbits, that hit the side of the car, stuff like that. He would pick up snakes that had been killed, all this kind of stuff. And I forgot to say, I left my dehumidifier on, so hopefully that's not bothering you guys too much. I don't know how loud it is for the earbuds. But he would pick up the roadkill because then he would tan it to use for. He had gotten really into Cherokee rituals, traditions, that kind of stuff. Had studied it a bit, even to the point of learning the language and all that. And so he would tan them and use the fur and stuff for hide. He kept deer brains. I think it was deer brains in the freezer to help with that process. I don't know the process, but it's something related to that. Uh, I was just like, okay, Dad, just keep it away from me. I don't want it near me. So he tried not to stop and get the stuff while we were in the car with him. But it reminds me of that. I mean, it's innocent enough. Unfortunately, it's stoking the fire for Jeffrey. I didn't see what it
There
was.
it
Was it
is.
a groundhog? Raccoon?
Heart.
Are you and Mom gonna get divorced?
Doesn't want to talk about that. Gotta actually feel it on his skin. Oh, never mind. So he's out of high school by now, I'm assuming.
Well, my guess is you missed the Army. All those years of structure, you know?
Military is actually good
You have a
for those
girlfriend?
who have antisocial
You
personality
meeting any
disorder.
girls?
The structure is good for
No.
them.
Who was it said after they got discharged that I'm gonna go to Miami? I don't like it.
Discharged from the military.
I got no money.
Well, parents are still together, so they're letting him come home. I imagine something happened between then and now that disturbed them greatly,
No getting drunk, and you gotta look for a job. That's the deal.
Look, roadkill.
because that's their bonding thing. Oh, drinking.
Oh, and Mr. Roper, what a character.
Three's Company.
Teaches at a preschool, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's not taking the bait.
It'll be 13.
I miss those prices. Is he gonna? Oh, I was gonna say, is he gonna go back? Going to steal some more shirts? He's not gonna look in the stall. Yeah. And this is before a lot of places had security cameras and all that kind of stuff. I do wonder if they do have security camera, but I'm guessing they don't. He wants the mannequin? Apparently. Is he able to get out? He left the clothes. He got out. I know this song too. I don't know the words until they start singing though. Ah, it's the name of the episode. I think it's oh, I can't remember the name of the band that sings it. They've got a peppier sounding version of it.
Thanks,
I had the
Grandma.
tape cassette of
Please
the
leave the
guy that
sheets
sang that
outside my
song.
door.
They're still going to
Thanks,
go in
Grandma.
there for some reason. Yep, still going to go in. How's Grandma going to react? Oh, we've transitioned. Yeah, I was going to say. Because you could tell the mannequin was faced the other way. So now we're in the apartment that he got busted in. At least I think that's how it was set up, that bedroom. So does he kill them so they're more mannequin-like? They don't have a chance to reject him?
How old are you?
Just so
Like
he's
you,
going to
Daddy.
lure them in?
Boone's Farm?
Boone's Farm.
Strawberry Boone's Farm. It was my
Lately.
first drink that was not a sip from Dad's drink.
Like sports?
It's smart not to hand them the stuff right outside the store because when they're busting
There
for
you go.
that
Drink
kind
up.
of stuff, they watch for that.
How old are you?
17?
I'm 14.
Oh, okay. You feel bad about that, Jeffrey? No.
And other things.
So why did you go with him then? You hoping he does it with you?
What are you doing here?
My question.
My family needs the money. And you said you'd give me $100.
Does it look like he's got $100 living in this place?
Decide.
Of course, 14 probably doesn't
Got
understand
their
that, but
minds made up. And all I want to do is take some pictures.
Okay.
oh, he's falling for it.
Give me the money then.
Is he going to just shoo him out the door?
You don't like it?
Maybe he'll kill him just
No.
because he gets
I
pissed
like to
off
go
anyhow.
big. This is something else.
Now, the guy they showed us a few scenes ago, was he before or after this kid? I'm assuming before.
It's okay. Lay down and relax, okay?
Is that a body
Don't
down
worry
beside the
about him.
bed? Gonna smother him? So he put contacts in his eyes. His eyes weren't rolled
Got him at a
up.
costume shop in Kenosha.
Oh no, his eyes were rolled up.
I can.
The way he's got his head, I'm afraid he's gonna chop his head off. Drill.
Okay.
A lobotomy.
Not gonna hurt.
I expected blood on his head. Well, if he did do the lobotomy, it didn't work. What's your name, baby? I always think of Pretty Woman when I hear, what's your name?
I'm really sorry about this, everybody.
So this is what sparked the neighbors' curiosity about what's wrong with him. I forget Niecy's character's name. Deborah,
What's a
maybe?
guy like you doing living here?
Oh,
We just don't want to catch anything, man.
you won't. I promise.
AIDS
I mean, you
is
just
what
lay
they're
down on the
worried
couch.
about.
Fiery, cause what? He's Asian.
Yeah.
Fiery because he's Asian? I don't get that one. That stereotype. So I thought maybe he had moved the body, but guess not. So they said he was bleeding, but I still haven't seen where he's bleeding from. And what was the surgery that Jeffrey had when he was little? They didn't actually say what it was. So is part of the reason why he got away with what he got away with is because they're paranoid about catching AIDS from somebody who's gay?
Well, no, I'm not saying nothing about that, but it appeared to be a child. This is my concern.
Yeah, I was
No,
going
he's
to say the
not. Okay.
homosexuality and
It's
the
a boyfriend
being gay are two different
boyfriend
things.
thing.
So Glenda's the neighbor. And that was the actual footage. It still sounded scripted. So that was episode 2. And they're showing, they showed a little bit of his childhood, conduct disorder kind of stuff. And they mentioned some stuff, but they haven't gone back to it, like the surgery. He hasn't been the same since his surgery. And so I don't know if we're going to find out what kind of surgery that was or if they're not going to go into that or what. And they showed us how his curiosity was strengthened, we'll put it that way, which was from his father and obsession with roadkill and all that kind of stuff, and moved on to people and not wanting them to leave. So afraid dad was going to leave because of mom and dad fighting. And yeah, so one of the things with folks who do this sort of stuff, the serial killing, serial violence, whatever it might be, is that there is a pattern of poor relationships or non existent relationships. And so they're kind of getting that across. I mean, he's an awkward kid, anyhow. And it certainly didn't help the way they went about it with him. I don't know if they know they were doing any harm or not, that kind of stuff. He wasn't allowed to come home. We don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the homosexuality and that's why he wasn't allowed to come home or if it was something else that he did. Dad didn't like his drinking, didn't like that he wasn't working. Those were two of the stipulations for him to come back home. And we had dad in the interrogator's office at the end of the first episode. So a lot of questions, but they're putting some information out there and piecing it together. Yeah. And I had a feeling the neighbor would be back, and they did bring her back. So, yeah, we'll leave it at that for this one. I don't know what else to say other than to ramble on and postulate what may be happening, all that kind of stuff. So, thank you all for joining me on this one. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.